I'm very happy to be in Lublin again, and I find the people so lovely and so nice, and so I appreciate being asked to this festival. So my name is Susan Stone, and I come from a town near Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. And I've been telling stories for over 30 years. And what else? I tell stories for children, I tell stories for adults. A lot of my stories are Jewish stories, but not all of them. They're stories that are multicultural. Originally, I was a theater artist, and from there, I started telling stories because stories speak to my soul. I run a storytelling festival in the town I live in with 27 events every October, and it's really fun. And I produce 2 CDs of Jewish stories for children. Yesterday I presented a program called Bringing the Stories Home, Jewish Tales from Poland, because I've been telling stories for a long time about the Hasidic masters who were in Poland as well as in many other countries. And little by little, I realized that I went to Poland several years ago to Krakow on a trip through Lithuania, and then I went 3 years ago to tell stories in Warsaw, and I came to Lublin with a driver that I hired, and he drove me around to many of the towns around Lublin because that's where my stories were from, and I wanted to see the towns for myself. So yesterday's performance included many stories from towns surrounding Lublin, mostly traditional tales from the Hasidic tradition, but also some stories related sort of funny jokes from the United States, and several Chelm tales, which are legendary where I come from. And the stories are filled with wisdom and sometimes mysticism. And they're meant sometimes for people to reach deep within themselves and think about what the story could mean to them. So I like telling stories where people can think and grow and learn, but also be entertained. And that's, of course, the primary goal of a storyteller. Well, I think I couldn't just pick one, because maybe 1 or 2 people influenced me to find my neshama, my soul, my Jewish soul. And then someone else might have influenced me to be kind in the world, and someone else might have influenced me to be a theater artist. So there's all kinds of influences that go into all of us, which I know isn't the answer that you wanted, but obviously I think both my parents influenced me to be kind to others and to do good in the world. Sometimes not by saying it, just by example. They never were preachy to me. And I don't know, I think my mother influenced me to be a good baker. I like to bake. So that's been a big part of my life. I know that sounds funny, but to feed people feels very nurturing to me. And my mother loved to feed people. I love to feed people. I love to bake. And that might sound like an unintellectual answer, but it's a big part of who I am to have guests in my home and to make them feel welcome and to treat them. It's actually a biblical thing to invite guests and treat them, invite the stranger. That's what Abraham did in the Bible. So some of these people aren't strangers, but I invite them. So that's been an influence, and I think, there's been other influences, but those are the big ones.